206%. That's how much villas in the UAE have gone up since the pandemic.
Post-COVID, with so many developments coming, so many people moving into the country, business has expanded. So year on year, we are competing with ourselves, moving from 5 billion in sales, 6 billion in sales, 7 billion in sales, targeting maybe 7.5, 8 billion.
But here's the thing, things are cooling down.
So I'll give you a very quick summary of what is happening in the market. Post February 28th, the market did cool down, right? So March, we had very minimal transactions. In fact, most of the transactions that were happening on the DLD and with the trustee offices is deals previously closed in Jan and Feb. Hence, the transfers were happening in March. But no new business was happening because people didn't know in which direction to head, whether they want to sell or whether they want to buy. We had a lot of panic sellers that came into the market in March and April.
So what does that mean for buyers, sellers, or investors?
So that is what we've been educating the people, our buyers, investors, and having conversations like we are having right now. The way I see the market is it is the right time to enter. It is a buyer's market, not a seller's market at the moment. I'm also telling people not to sell until and unless they don't need the money. If they have well planned themselves, it is better to hold on to the real estate than to sell it in today's market. Because definitely Dubai has a very good story. It's a very successful country. The leadership is very strong.
Today, I'm sitting down with someone who's in the market every single day. I want to know what's really happening. I want to know what the opportunities are and what people are getting wrong. So let's find out. Welcome back to the Corporate Connections podcast. I'm Nadia, your host, and I'm here with one of our members. And today, I'm about to find out what's happening in the real estate in Dubai. And let me tell you, this guy knows property inside out. He was born here and his family have been here for 55 years. So let me introduce you to Chirag, one of our members. Hello, Chirag. How are you?
Excellent. How are you doing?
It's great to have you on this podcast today.
Thank you very much.
And I am very excited, a bit too excited actually, to find out about what's actually happening in the real estate. So firstly, introduce yourself and tell us all about what you do and the company that you have in Dubai.
So it's me, Chirag Sabhnani. Like Nadia said, I was born and brought up in Dubai and family's been here for 55 years. We've been in the real estate brokerage business since 2009. My company is called Union Square House Real Estate, and we specialize in the off-plan space. The difficult times that we are in right now is the reason we are thriving on the secondary sales market. Again, I was a garment trader growing up. That's exactly what the family business was. And we diverted into the real estate brokerage business, taking advantage of the freehold real estate business started since 2002.
So, wow, that's like quite a big jump from the garment industry to real estate.
Correct. So where we found the gap in 2009 was the markets significantly were affected in 2008, where we had the whole world's financial crisis. So we wanted to take advantage of entering the business at the right point, where people needed good brokers, good advisors, someone who knew how to manage their own business, their own money, and some people who learned from the mistakes they made themselves in 2008. So I was one of the live examples. In 2008, we lost a lot of money in the real estate market. We lost a lot of money in the equities, bonds, mutual funds that we were investing in America, in India. So based on all those experiences, we wanted to correct what we were doing wrong. And I wanted to share that with the market, with the people, and gain their trust eventually, which is why we're also thriving since the past 16 years now. So 2026, again, a difficult year. We've had ups and downs in the past 16 years. And each and every time that we have a recession or these points is when Union Square House plans their expansion for the next few years.
Amazing. So we're going to expect a big expansion from your
fingers crossed.
business.
We are already looking for opportunities to re-enter the market. We already have 3 branches and we're looking for 2 more additions this year. We were initially planning the Abu Dhabi branch, and the entry cost and things like that was so much higher first quarter of this year, and prices started to correct in March, which is where we started feeling that taking advantage of that growth opportunity right now makes the most sense.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you about that dip, shall we say, that we've got right now. But before we get into actual real estate, let's find out about a little bit more about you. So, what's one belief that changed everything for you?
Um, I'd say conversing with your family, with your friends, and people in your business. So I guess growing up, I was not much of a conversation starter, or I would be more quiet and not be approachable, more like an introvert.
Mhm.
But I felt having conversation, being more out there, learning from people, teaching from people is what changed me as a person and changed my perception towards doing business with people who I know and people who I don't know. So I feel that's something that we all should keep in mind, is conversing with people and not keeping things to yourself.
Yeah, and it must have been quite hard for an introvert to become, what you are today, where you are speaking in public, you are speaking to people, you are selling to people. So you're having to make those relationships.
So growing up, I was more like the shy boy, backbencher in school. Even if I knew the answer to a question, I would never raise my hand and say, uh, "Yes, I know the answer to this." I would
Hmm.
keep it to myself, murmur it to myself. But I feel like if I'm not raising my hand now and not sitting in front rows, I'm not being noticed, and no one is valuing me for my knowledge, my experience, and who I am and where I am. Hence, getting out there, lifting my hand up, putting out my opinions, my thoughts, or asking people the right questions is now what is helping me since maybe the past 5 years. So, coming out of COVID and meeting new people, so many more nationalities and people have moved into the Dubai as residents, right? And I'm also taking advantage of meeting new people through my children in school. So they go to an international school, and I'm meeting people from not only from India and Pakistan, but from Canada, Korea, Japan, uh, London, and I'm learning different things about different cultures, different thought processes, different ways of doing business, different day-to-day lifestyles. So I guess that's what's changing me as a person, and I'm slowly and steadily adapting to whatever is happening in the world and in Dubai alike.
Yeah, and I always believe it's about being confident, right? As well. An extrovert is having that confidence. And the only
Correct.
way you can gain confidence is to actually take action on it. And that is what confidence is, taking action. And that's what you did. You
Correct.
sat at the front, you put your hand up at the end. Maybe you didn't do that at school, but you're doing it now.
Correct. Yeah. School, university, even the first 10, 12 years I was in the family business, I would think a lot, I would observe a lot, but I would never express myself.
Hmm.
Coming into the real estate business, things changed substantially, right? And I learned that being a good salesperson and not giving your ideas in the front, having the knowledge and not passing it down doesn't help. So I had to develop my sales skills, conversation skills to be able to do what I'm doing and thriving at today.
Yeah. And how much does that help you in real estate? I think quite a lot, right?
Yes, 100%. In fact, so I come in as a very different realtor in general, because I understand the value of money, cost of money, whether it's borrowing money from the banks against mortgages, leveraging yourselves and your businesses, using your cash flows in the correct manner. All of that has helped me because of my experience, and I make sure I put pen to paper during my meetings, and I explain this to all my investors and potential buyers in the real estate space.
And that's great because that's what they want to know, right? They don't want to walk out of having that like conversation with you and not know if they can actually afford it at the end of the day. Or maybe,
Correct.
because if it's out of their budget, what's the point in that conversation?
So, what happens mostly in the real estate space is during your first meeting, you don't necessarily ask the right questions. The right questions to ask in the real estate space is, A, are you an investor or an end user, right? Beginning with that. If you're an end user, you need a home next to your office or the place you work, near the school, near a hospital, or do you want a quiet, secluded area away from the city? So you want to be in the downtown, you want to be in the suburbs, you want to be in the countryside. Everyone has to answer the right questions for me to be able to shortlist it.
Hmm.
Just having a casual conversation over coffee, sharing ideas and knowledge doesn't make the deal happen.
Yeah.
If I want to best make use of that 1 hour the potential buyer or investor is spending with me on a one-on-one conversation, I need to make sure I'm asking the right questions and giving the right advice, giving them the importance and the attention they need, and also explaining them the need of the hour that Dubai has or was having or it's going to have. So I guess, again, coming back to that conversation, so having a good conversation is key.
So a good conversation equals a good broker then. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. That's the way I'd look at it.
Okay, so what do you know now that you wish you'd known at the start?
So, trust the right people and trust the process. Um, So, how growing up and when you're new to the business, you feel like you want to be a jack of all, right? So, you know that you know it all and you don't delegate, you don't trust people, you don't trust the process, you want to do anything and everything yourselves. I guess with that, you don't grow and you don't end up, reaching the right place at the right time because you get consumed.
Hmm.
So say if I am good at something, I need to tell people that, listen, I'm good at this, and hence I'm giving you the right advice, and somehow or the other get them to trust me. Likewise, I need to trust people. Hence, that's the reason why we've been able to grow the business as well, right? So we're about staff strength of 125 people, where we have about 90 brokers. So I need to trust other brokers to do sales the same way as I am.
Hmm.
I need to trust my finance guys, marketing guys, videographers, photographers to be able to take video shoots of apartments, and don't think that I can use my mobile phone and do, anything and everything. If I feel like I'm good at, interior design or fit out contracting, stuff like that, I'm not a specialist at it. So I think I need to hire the right people in the right positions, hence trust them and be able to grow. So I guess coming back to your that answer and that question is trust the process, trust people, and eventually, grow ourselves individually and grow the business.
And how hard is it to trust people?
To be honest, I've been cheated a lot during the course of business, but I also feel that till you don't jump into the water, you don't know how to swim. So, likewise, if I don't get out and meet new people and have that trial and error conscious mind, wherein I'm going to let people do it, whether they perform or don't perform, till I don't try, I won't know. So, I feel like uh, being cheated so many times, I'm still learning how to read people, because everyone has a different way of working, everyone has a different way of living their lives, presenting themselves. So yeah, there is still a lot to learn and still a lot to explore. And yeah, slow and steady, fingers crossed, I meet new people who I can trust sooner than later.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about this before on this podcast, where when you have your own business, you become the recruiter. So, and recruiting is your main priority, right? Because at the end of the day, they're going to make money for you.
Correct.
And they're going to build your biggest business up and grow your business. And it's very hard to find those people and trust them, of course.
100%. So in a business like we're not only a broker, and we're not doing day-to-day sales or weekly sales or monthly sales ourselves. We have to be a leader, we have to be a recruiter, we have to be an HR. So we have to hear the issues and problems people are having in their day-to-day lives, because they're not going to be able to perform, or they're having issues taking care of clients. Very recently, one of the guys in the office called me and said, sir, can you teach me how the urgency of closing a deal? And I said, wow, I've never heard this before. So the urgency of closing a deal can be, there are people who are just shopping, like window shopping.
Hmm.
They want to hear you out. How are you going to put the urgency to close a deal to people who are window shopping, right? Because uh, you can't define that in the first or second meeting. It's only by your third meeting you know that these guys are window shopping. Someone who wants a house for themselves, they will be like calling me or my team and another 2 3 brokers. So then you know the urgency yourself, you've interpreted it correctly, and then you go out and teach them, guide them, and sell it. So what I'm trying to say is, managing people, managing our business, managing these kind of numbers, right? So Dubai is doing billions of dollars of business. um, so we've done roughly about 7 billion dirhams of business in 2025. uh, Doing that alone with a senior staff strength of 10 12 people, me and my partners growing the business, not easy at all. What has happened with us in the past few years is we're competing with ourselves as a business. So we started from like maybe a 1.5 billion dirham company and say pre-COVID, and then post COVID, with so many developments coming, so many people moving into the country, business has expanded. So year on year, we are competing with ourselves, moving from 5 billion in sales, 6 billion in sales, 7 billion in sales, targeting maybe, 7.5, 8 billion. Uh, so running a company and running a real estate brokerage company is not easy.
Yeah, and I can imagine because you're dealing with the market as well as people
Correct.
and people on both ends as well. So that's the hardest
Yes.
part.
Correct. Yeah, it is. It is. Managing people is very difficult. Again, coming back to that learning curve, it's only about speaking to the people on the lower end, and speaking up to the higher end is where we learn how to bridge that gap. So we know what are the pain points of anyone and everyone, and then we have to put in our experiences and see how we can bridge the gap, learn, and prosper.
Yeah. So let me ask you, like, what makes a good leader in your real estate firm? What makes a good leader?
So I feel a good leader also has to be a good listener, right? I have to first listen to people, listen to their problems, listen to their pain points, and then give them advice. Also, what the leaders have to do is have enough experience themselves. Hence, we need to be in touch with people who are probably more senior than us, more experienced than us. So, from my personal learning, is like, my uncles, my dad, uh, and all the people who are 60 plus years of age, because I want to hear their story, how they've made money, what were their experiences, what were their positives, negatives, what were their downfalls, their uptrends, how many of these men or these families have made their first million dirhams, or first 10 million dirhams, or first 100 million dirhams. So these stories for me are very important, because if I have to be a leader, I have to present myself well, I have to set examples well. I have to give examples of people who have been conscious leaders. So, one thing I also constantly do is I keep reading, I keep traveling, I keep meeting new people, and I go out alone, uh, pave the path for people that are following my leadership. So I feel um, certain steps in life have to be taken alone, experience it, and then pass on the leadership.
Yeah, I feel like having that like mentor kind of person,
Correct,
right,
correct.
is so important, especially when you're at the top of the game and
Yes.
you're like, I just need to speak to somebody about this.
Correct. Yeah. So for most leaders, I'm sure many people who are
Hmm.
listening to me right now, and yourself, you would feel lonely at the top, right? Because
Hmm.
you're saying that I am teaching, I'm narrating, and I'm trying to set an example to somebody. But who am I learning from,
Hmm.
right? So we feel lonely at the top. So it's very important that you're talking to some people, and constantly learning, and have that, not maybe one, but maybe having multiple mentors, because everyone teaches you something different.
Yeah, and of course, that's probably one of the reasons I hope that you're in corporate connections for. We
Correct.
have
Yeah.
that community of business owners that maybe have been through what you're going through,
Correct.
or maybe they need your help.
Right. And the advantage we have in corporate connections is we meet so many people from different businesses with different experiences and different stories, which is what also helps us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's those different situations that people might have got themselves into, but you might be facing the same thing, but in a different way. And
Correct.
it's connecting that as well. Okay, so let's get started on how the market's going. So you're in the market every single day. H1 2026 just closed, 86,000 transactions, 86 billion AED. But price growth is cooling. Rental yields are easing. What's really going on? What does it mean for someone thinking about buying or investing right now?
So I'll give you a very quick summary of what is happening in the market, right? So post January 20, February 28th, the market did cool down, right? So March, we had very minimal transactions. In fact, most of the transactions that were happening on the DLD and with the trustee offices is deals previously closed in Jan and Feb. Hence, the transfers were happening in March. But no new business was happening because people didn't know in which direction to head, whether they want to sell or whether they want to buy. We had a lot of panic sellers that came into the market in March and April. As a brokerage company, what we have done and what we have thrived on is the market corrected anywhere between 10 to 30% depending on the area and on the fair market price, peak market price. So the way I want to put it is so say if Dubai was at a peak market price point in November, December 2025 and Jan and February 2026, the market has fairly corrected, which is also healthy, right? However, what we experienced this time against previous experience in during the COVID or during the financial crisis, a lot of people were over leveraged, which was not the case right now. So a lot of panic selling did not come into the market. However, there are certain villas on the Palm, which were listed for, say, 75, 80 million, those sold and transacted at 65, 68 million. There was an Emirates Hills villa which we transacted, which was listed at 125 million, and we sold it at 90 million. There were some deals that we did with Bin Ghati in the off plan space. They gave us a discount from the peak selling price, or also they gave us flexible payment plans, which is what a lot of developers are offering. So resales are happening at slightly lesser price points, and developer sales are happening at flexible payment plans. So that is what we've been educating the people, our buyers, investors, and having conversations like we are having right now. The way I see the market is it is the right time to enter. It is a buyer's market, not a seller's market at the moment. I'm also telling people not to sell until and unless they don't need the money. If they have well planned themselves, it is better to hold on to the real estate than to sell it in today's market. Because definitely Dubai has a very good story. It's a very successful country. The leadership is very strong. We constantly see development even in tough times like that. The RTA hasn't stopped building. Developers have not stopped building. Tier 1 developers like Imar, Miras, Dubai Holding Group, Majid Al Futem, Nashama, all of these guys have not stopped launching. A lot of Tier 2 developers like Imtiaz, Bingati, Damac are constantly training brokers, educating brokers, and launching new products and being able to sell and thrive. So I guess Dubai will bounce back, if not the fourth quarter this year, definitely the first quarter of 2027. Needless to say that the year 2026 is not something that we've lost out on. We've all, as brokers, done business, developers done business, and the numbers are proving themselves, right? Doing 86,000 transactions is not easy. So if not me as a broker, some other broker is doing business. It is getting difficult to do business, but there is business happening. That's the positive way of looking at it.
So you say that it's getting difficult to do business.
It
Yeah.
is, yes.
And what does that mean for real estate companies in Dubai? Does that mean that we might see a lot less in Dubai? Do you think a lot of them will sustain being in Dubai, in the Dubai market?
So what has been happening is we had a lot of international money that was coming in. We had a lot of investors from other countries in the world, not just Dubai, India, Pakistan, China, but we had Germany, we had Italy, we had people from America, Canada, London. So what was happening in many of these countries is the income taxes or the corporate taxes or the property taxes were increasing in percentage against the incomes that people were earning. Dubai only has the VAT that is 5%, and it has corporate tax which just came in. Hence, a lot of people were looking at Dubai as a market to divert their portfolios, divert their money, and
Mhm.
invest into the space. Um, Over the past 4 months, we've not seen a lot of international money coming in. Tourism has been significantly affected. Hospitality, like hotels and restaurants, have been significantly affected. But again, we need to keep in mind that the summer months are always fairly slow.
Mhm.
We need to see how the momentum increases come September. Uh, and then we're all waiting for the geopolitical issues to come and settle down, resolve, wherein all three parties in the world shake hands, sign off, and get into the peace treaty, wherein no one's at war with each other. I personally feel that Dubai will engage into the international markets fourth quarter this year. We as brokers and real estate companies used to thrive on a lot of road shows with international markets and educate people on the Dubai or the UAE story, which many
Mhm.
people did not know. Hence, we would always attract investment from anywhere between $350,000 upwards, going up to maybe even $100 million investments, because Dubai has homes starting from studios and one bedroom apartments that's 500,000 600,000 dirhams, and probably the most expensive listing would be like a billion dirham home in Emirates Hills, for example.
Mhm.
So because we have real estate, we have food, we have lifestyle, we have employment for all kinds of people, we're always welcoming and inviting more and more resident population and working population into the country.
Yeah. And so when it comes to this international people coming in to buy property, and they're not doing right now at this point, but it's going to pick up in the late of 2026 going into 2027. Is that
Correct.
what you're
Correct.
saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel that the positivity will kick in fourth quarter this year and first quarter next year. But also, it is very important that we don't have any issues with the waterways that are connected with the imports in the country, because the Strait of Hormuz has to come back in action. We're already facing severe shortages on a lot of material that comes into the country, right? So basic necessities like clothes, textiles, food stuff, cars, electronics. There are a lot of these shipment delays, right? So
Mm.
the gap in the market is building.
So that brings me to construction then. So
Yes.
there's construction delays. How's the off plan going? Because I know that you specialize in off plan as well.
So what is happening is the newer launches are more expensive because the price per square foot when it comes to construction or procurement of material is going to increase.
Mhm.
Even though land prices present day could have fallen 10-20%, the material cost of construction has gone up maybe 30%. So it'll compensate for that. Um, all the previously announced projects are definitely being delayed anywhere between 4 to 8 months. Handovers that were due to happen in fourth quarter 2026 are already happening. Why? Because most of the construction was already over. But the handovers that are due to happen in 2027, I feel there'll be a 6 to 8 month, like 4 to 8 month window delay for sure, because product is not coming into the country. Hence, they're not able to maybe finish the windows of a
Mhm.
townhouse villa or a building, or maybe some certain sanitary supplies are not in the country, or tiles to do the interior exterior facades are not being completed. So these minor teething issues is a constant at the moment, which once the waterways open up will streamline.
So let me get this right. Off plan, are they offering flexi pay still?
Yes. So in fact, something that we learned from during the COVID business is a lot of developers gave post handover payment plans. What I mean by post handover payment plans is you pay 50% of your purchase price during the course of construction, which
Hmm.
takes maybe 3 to 4 years. And then the balance 50% you are paying after you receive handover and keys. So once the lock in key is in your hand, you're already probably staying in the house or you're renting the house, and you're still making those payments to the developers. So we learned this during COVID. That has come back into practice with some developers. We also have a more easier payment plan because now the banks are financing and mortgage is becoming easier, wherein people on their first buys are getting anywhere between 60% to 80% finance. So
Wow.
what a lot of developers are doing are taking 40% during the course of construction or 50% during the course of construction and giving you a handover payment of either 50 or 60% proportionately, which can be financed by the bank. So, and Dubai cost of finance is not so expensive, right? It's average 4% per annum. So we are doing a lot of sales on these bases. Plus, what is happening is uh, when you're paying, 50% during course of construction, we know that in the next 1 year maximum, Dubai is going to bounce back. So when these products come back to resale, when these products come to handover or these products come to rent, the markets would have automatically or by then organically, the right word, corrected.
Yeah.
So that's what we are trying to sell and push in the off-plan space. However, developers who are more motivated to sell their stock and reduce their liability in the market individually or with the banks are offering discounts which could be anywhere between maybe 4% going up to 20% and even more with some developers, but common 4 to 20%. They would put in the cost of money, like it would be as if you were keeping a fixed deposit in a bank.
Mm-hmm.
So opportunity cost of your money is anywhere between 8 to 10%. They would give you that in a discount and ask investors to pay a higher down payment or a higher um, installment payment towards their property. So there are different scenarios, which I'm obviously happy to discuss on a one-on-one basis with any investor after understanding their investment need. But a lot of offers by tier one, tier two, tier three developers, and a lot of financing options with the banks at the moment, which is also one of the reasons why a lot of people are buying, and we're having to educate potential investors both locally and internationally on such schemes.
Amazing. So off plan is probably one of the things that people should be looking into right now.
So off plan and something that is close to handover. So close to handover is mostly for end users. So a lot of people in Dubai have realized that spending high amounts of money on rent may not be the sensible idea. So buying something that is close to handover allows you to avail a mortgage. And some people who take a 15-year, 20 or a 25-year mortgage and equate the annual rental payouts as mortgage payments on a monthly or annually towards the bank, and realize that buying a real estate today from some of their savings using the bank mortgage 15 years down the line, 20 years down the line, 25 years down the line, all their potential rent payout goes towards the property, and at least they are able to leave the second generation some level of inheritance. So for me, um, I would leave my 9-year-old son or my 4-year-old daughter at least a 3 or a 4 bedroom house, which they could call theirs.
Okay, so moving on, and where in the UAE are you telling serious buyers to look right now? And equally, where are you telling them to be careful?
So, one of my favorite places, depending on the price points that investors want to enter in, if buyers are looking at buying end-use homes, which are 4 bedroom villas, 5 bedroom villas, or mansions, Imar Oasis is one of my favorite places. But then again, that's 10 million dirham onwards.
I've just seen this being built, and you know what? It looks incredible.
Yes, it's actually
It's opposite Tel Al Gaf, right?
yes, it's very close to Jumeirah Golf Estates and Tilal Al Gaf.
Mhm.
I feel there is a lot of maturity that is going to come into that area. Very exclusive, better air quality index, close to the new airport, multiple selling points. But that is for buyers who are looking for end use homes, 10 million dirhams onwards. The second space that I would recommend people to look at is the Expo 2020 site. They're doing a lot of construction over there. Payment plans are solid. The story with the exhibition centers, hotels, villa community, residential community coming in is what it's going to thrive on. And in that area, you have a lot of other neighboring sub communities, right? So you have a world famous company called Discovery doing a golf course. You have Imar South doing a golf course and a master community. Um, you have the Dubai South, which is also government owned and linked. So the Expo and the Dubai South are very good areas for anyone and everyone to look at, both end users and investors. And Dubai, sooner or later, is going to take a shift. So we'll have the old Dubai and the new Dubai, right?
Mm-hmm.
The where the frame is and the trade center is.
Yeah.
So through that frame, you're definitely going to see the old Dubai, and on the other side, the south of Dubai, going to see the new side of it. And we all know that the airport is shifting, the logistics parks are coming, so many schools, medical institution options. So I feel, look at New Dubai and look at investment options in those areas. I think it's a definite plus plus.
Yeah.
Something that I would tell people to watch out on is the real estate development that is going towards the Dubai Alain Road. Um, that is a long-term investment vision. So someone who
Is
wants
this
to
is this past
so
the
this is very
valley?
close to
Demac Hills
the
too?
Valley, Damac Hills
Yeah.
2, Dubai Silicon Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
You have a community called Sky Courts, very close to the Seven Stadium, and there is
Mm-hmm.
an outlet mall. So that has a 10-year vision, the way I look at it, right? There
Okay.
is a lot of development to come in that area, and property prices over there are increasing organically. Like, the way I see it is maybe 5 to 10% per annum. Wherein, if you're closing towards Jabal Ali, because you're connected to the capital, which is Abu Dhabi, which is also the new airport, you're seeing property prices increase anywhere between 10 to 15% per annum. So it all depends on how close you want to be to Dubai Mall, DIFC, Mall of the Emirates, different landmarks. Again, coming to the fact that where someone wants to live, where they work, what is the entry point of things like that. But my favorites are anything and everything going towards Jabal Ali in the south of Dubai. And again, something that people have to be conscious about. Again, personal opinion is something that is going on that Dubai Ali and Hatta stretch.
Yeah, and you think it's far away, but it's actually not. So, like, I live near Arabian Ranches too now, and when I came, I think it was 14 years ago now, and I mean, it was nothing there. And then when people started moving out to Arabian Ranches and Damac Hills, I was like, whoa, that's so far away. But now it's
Yeah,
it's I feel like Multi City in a sense has become the center of Dubai,
correct.
connecting everything.
So again, so me being a Dubai born and brought up kid, I was born and raised and spent most of my life in Bur Dubai, right? So when we were in Bur Dubai and Emirates Hills launched in 2002, so Dubai Marina, Emirates Hills, these communities were launched simultaneously, and everyone would think that it is so far, and people would think that even going there for free is not worth it, right? And today, something that was launched at maybe 90, 100 dirhams per square foot in value has reached 3,000 dirhams in value. JBR was launched at maybe 350, 360 dirhams in value, and
Hmm.
it's minimum 1,000 dirhams and north, right? So things evolved. Whether people evolved or not, Dubai did, right?
Hmm.
And likewise, so it's a vision that you have as a buyer investor, and you have to trust Dubai and see where it's going. uh, People, again, when we were growing up, and if we had to go to the Burj Al Arab, right? So the Burj Al Arab, if my parents had to plan going near that beachfront, it was it was not developed for millennials, right? So 2000 onwards is when Dubai evolved.
It had
The year
roads,
2000.
had roads and not camels on the
Yes,
sand.
correct, correct. So we would plan going for a beach day out or a brunch at least 7 to 10 days in advance.
Wow.
And today, and that was maybe you're driving 50 kilometers. Today, my average run on the road is 150, 200 kilometers. So coming back to your thing, you live in the Arabian Ranches. No one would ever imagine themselves moving to Arabian Ranches. That was already 30 kilometers away from the city center of Dubai.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to go so far away.
But that's what they say about like Emoy South, for instance. They say it's far away, but I'm like, it's actually coming closer. It's not moving, but we're moving out towards it,
So
right?
the way of looking at any of these newer communities is Dubai is evolving, right?
Mm.
So people living in Dera have their schools, offices, everything in Dera. People living in Bardubai, Karama, and Oud Mehta are just there. People who are living from the first interchange, or say, let's say Trade Center roundabout to the second interchange, between Jumeirah and Al Wasl Road,
Mm-hmm.
have their life around that area. So what I'm trying to say is, Imar Oasis, Imar South will have an ecosystem of its own. People who live there, work there, will be habitable to that area. I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly how a lot of international countries and cities are, right? So, for example, London, Hong Kong, Singapore, people are happy in their zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. They don't go cross city or cross country on a daily or weekly basis. They probably do it once in 2 weeks or once in a month. That's how Dubai will be by the year 2030, which is not too far away, right? We're only 4 years away.
Yeah. And you can see it already happening. Okay, so I have got a fire round that I would like to do with you. So let's try and get through this. End user or investor, who actually gets the best deal in Dubai right now?
Investor, always.
And why is that?
Because investors are not emotionally attached to their real estate purchase, end users are. So they don't necessarily need to see if the house door is opening to the northwest, uh, north, south, east, west. Most end users are Vastu oriented. They want to be next to the pool park, something like that. Say, for example, if you get a 4 million dirham product for 3 million dirhams, an investor would jump on it and take advantage with the hope that he's going to sell it back into the market at 4 million. But an end user getting a 4 million product at 3 million will go view, see how close you are to the park, the vastu, the feng shui, do I have enough sunlight? So it's unlimited questions. By then an investor comes and actually, takes up the
So it's
unit.
like a
So
woman shopping.
yes. Oh, exactly.
Okay, so the end user is the woman shopping and the man is the investor. Got it.
Correct.
Okay, one area in Dubai, if you had to put your own money on it today, where would it be?
Again, Imara Oasis.
Okay, one place 10 years ago, where would you put your money?
Um, Palm Jumeirah.
Wow. And actually, I was thinking Dubai Hills, but was that even there 10 years ago?
No, so Dubai Hills came
Oh,
up in 2017 and 18.
okay, so
Yeah.
only just. We're just on
Yeah.
the
So
cusp.
10 years back,
I wish I bought there.
Palm Jumeirah was maybe 70% cheaper than what it is today. So anyone who bought Palm Jumeirah 10 years back, which would be in 2016,
Mm-hmm.
would be able to buy a 4 bedroom villa in under 20 million. Today, those same villas are trading at maybe 40, 50 million.
Wow,
So that's tremendous growth. That's
it
tremendous
is.
growth.
And do you
Yeah.
ever see them coming back down to
To be
the
honest,
lowest?
we've seen a peak of such houses at maybe 50, 60 million, and today they're down at about 40 million again. So
Wow.
I think we are at the lowest point of real estate today. I don't think so. Real estate in Dubai is going to get any cheaper than it is at the moment. And for people who thought real estate purchase was expensive in 25 and 24, those are the kind of people that are buying today and taking advantage of the present market situation.
Like you said, it's a buyer's market right now.
Correct.
Okay, number three. Overheated, healthy, or underrated? How would you describe the market in one word right now?
Healthy. So, coming back to our conversation, I said that people had learned from their mistakes from the financial crisis in 2008 and COVID. So, a lot of people are not very highly leveraged. Otherwise, under a situation like that, there would be a lot of panic selling, which we don't see. If there is maybe 100 billion dirhams worth of real estate for sale in the market, we must have seen panic selling on maybe 15 or 20 billion only, right? So the rest are um, have got their fundamentals right and who've got their cash flow right, which is very important.
Well done, Dubai.
Yes, well done, Dubai, and well done, the residents of Dubai. We've
Yeah,
all learned and evolved from our mistakes.
of course. Okay, off plan or ready property, which wins in 2026?
That's a very hard question, to be honest. So, off plan wins if the developers are giving you better payment plans. Otherwise, I'd say more than 70% of the sales are ready units or close to handover units because, like I said during our discussion, is these opportunities or off plan, ready positions are being mortgaged with the bank. So people are actually taking advantage of money available at 4% per annum and buying ready units.
What's the biggest myth people believe about Dubai real estate that simply isn't true?
So everyone that used to enter the Dubai real estate market felt like they could multiply their money super quick, but that's not true. And some people had something called the FOMO. So because they were not buying or because they were not part of the real estate cycle, they felt that they were missing out on something. You are missing out on something, but it's not like the lottery ticket, right? It's not like, so in 2004, 5, and 6, there were a lot of people who were multiplying their money um, by about 50% per annum. And some people were greedy. Some people were putting money without not thinking about the negatives. They would only think that it's a one-way traffic. So that's the myth that people have in Dubai, right? That if I invest money today, I should be able to grow my money tomorrow.
Mhm.
That's not the case. Dubai has evolved, and now there is a lot of organic growth in the country. You cannot buy a million dirham lottery ticket and think that that million dirham lottery ticket is going to give you 10 million in 3 years. Doesn't happen. I would look at a million dirham become 10 million dirhams in 10 years, not which is organic. I don't see the kind of jumps that are happening that were happening today.
Yeah. It's all organic. Well, thank you so much
Yes.
for all the insights you've given us
Oh
on real
no, thank you.
estate.
My pleasure.
And Chirag, where can people find you as well? If they want to go and find you, maybe they want off plan, maybe they want to sell their property, to buy property that's already been
So I'm
developed.
I'm definitely available on my mobile. I'm more a direct calling person than a WhatsApp and email person. Again, touch wood. Things in Dubai are busy. They work well. Uh, but yes, we have a whole team to help anyone and everyone interested in buying real estate in Dubai. Um, and again, we have a 90 people broker firm. If
That's
I'm
located in Business Bay,
that
right?
Yes, so we have three branches. One is in Business Bay, one is in JLT, and one is in Town Square, which is on the Kudra Road. And yes, two more to come, more people to join us. And I'm open to questions, one-to-ones. However, whenever I can help people, happy to do so.
Amazing. So I'll definitely be booking in with him, finding out more about how I can invest my money in Dubai. And it's been great for you to see what is actually happening in the real estate market right now. So keep following us. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you, Nadia.
Thank you.
Thank you.